First, the mail came in this evening, and in it is a notice that Mr. Goldsmith, a noted writer, please note that, be very respectful from now, will give 6 lectures at Caxton Hall in England and London, and a class, and this is the date for those who are booking passage. The closed class will be October 18th to October 23rd. And a very nice hall has been engaged. So, take due notice, there are. And then comes this letter from Chicago, indicating a change of address. Dear Mr. Goldsmith, I want to thank you for appearing as a guest on my television program. I also want to tell you about the unprecedented response your appearance elicited. In my years in radio and television, I have never had the spontaneous volume of telephone calls and letters regarding a guest. Since my guests have been many of the world's most famous people, this should be particularly gratifying to you. There is something in your manner and the message you so humanly convey that indeed puts you in a class by yourself. I said about respect, didn't I? If you don't mind devoting some extra time and work, you should definitely have your own radio and or television program. I would be happy to discuss this with you at your convenience. It would make possible your reaching a much larger audience. So, if you want to move to Chicago, there it is. But at least, and the reason primarily that I wanted to read that to you is this. I myself would not have believed until that day that the public at large would be so interested in a program of this nature in which I definitely and specifically spoke of God and prayer from the standpoint of the infinite way. And for those who heard it, it was a daring thing from their standpoint, not ours. And the response was just what you read here. So that they did, the very next day, call me over and offer me a half-hour television and 15-minute radio show every day. So who knows? This little bit came in tonight also in the mail. It's from Chaucer. Flee from the crowd and dwell with truthfulness. Suffice thee with thy goods, though they be small. To hoard brings hate, to climb brings giddiness. The crowd has envy, and success blinds all. Desire no more than to thy lot may fall. Work well thyself to counsel others clear, and truth shall make thee free, there is no fear. That's a long time back, Mr. Chaucer, isn't it? And he saw that. But when we come to this, dwell with thy lot, we can accept that in a different sense than the old one of being satisfied with poverty, in that we can translate that into being satisfied with our spiritual lot, with our spiritual identity. There again, we must be alert to see that we are not to be content with material riches, nor are we to glory in material poverty, because either one is equally wrong when you stop to think that from the spiritual standpoint we are to have the infinity of God, and if we have it in our spiritual sense it will be good. And these 2 questions, you tell us that it is necessary to feel the click while in the silence in order to heal. Is a practitioner now studying for teaching and hasn't yet attained that point of revelation to give up the healing work when called upon for help? Now, there's a misunderstanding there. I did not say that it is necessary to feel the click. I said that when we are in meditation or giving treatment, that the culmination of it should be an actual awareness that God is on the field, whether that comes in the form of a click, whether it comes in the form of a deep breath, whether it comes in the form of some inner assurance, is not important. The main thing is that when we have completed our treatment, that we should at least feel that our work is done, that God is on the field. Now, no one should ever give up the practice as long as they're doing healing work. And even though they may do that healing work in a different way than another, it doesn't make it less good or less correct. Most healing work is accomplished without any treatment, without any silence, without any inner response, from the point of view that the practitioner is always living in that state of consciousness and does not have to go into it or get into it. So what I was saying was addressed primarily to those people or those particular times when a person has to go into meditation and certainly should feel a response within him. Now, there's only one thing that should determine whether or not a person should be in the practice, and that is whether they're having healings. If they are having healings, then what possible difference can it make whether it conforms to my idea or his idea or her idea or no one's idea? The results, by their fruits ye shall know them. It is the same with teaching. Nobody should be a teacher merely because they have a diploma entitling them to teach. If their teaching isn't bringing enlightenment, healing, comfort, regeneration, then even though they have a half a dozen diplomas, they should not be teaching. And the next is, when you speak of communion, does it mean communion with God, which we obtain through meditation, or does it mean Holy Communion, which we may take in Catholic, Protestant, or any church? No, it means the communion that we obtain through meditation with God. The communion which you take in a church is not a communion, it's a ritual. It's a ritual exemplifying the communion. It's a ritual, a form of ceremony or worship that may or may not result in actual communion. It may be nothing but a form. And most time it is just a form. But when we speak of communion, we're speaking of the actual experience of God contact. Well, you felt that the answer is that I am. That is the word. We have come evidently to the end of a work, and in the summing up of it, the unfoldment that comes is that in our individual experience there is no realization beyond the truth that I am. Now, understand, as we saw a moment ago, it is not a question of being satisfied with our lesser lot, nor is it a question of attempting to attain a greater good, but really it is the spiritual realization that in my spiritual being I am. Now the temptation comes to desire a change, and surely always the desire is for a change for the better, an improvement. But here we are in the realization that there is no place to go. There is no further word. There is no further attainment. I am. It is in that realization that I am that the fulfillment of it becomes apparent to us. It is only in the belief that we function in time and space as humans and seek a state of good beyond that which we immediately are experiencing, that we continue to live from demonstration to demonstration. Now, here, this was the unfoldment. It's a difficult thing to put into words. But I am. Where do you want to go from there? I am. What do you hope to achieve from there? I am. What do you expect of life? I am. I am. Now, as we open our eyes and look out upon the world and see the discords and inharmonies, it is necessary again to realize, but I am. And this is a universal truth. It makes no difference what the eyes behold or what the ears hear. The inner vision says, but I am. I am in the secret place of the Most High. I am about the Father's business. I am. That which I am seeking, I am. Over again it repeats, what do you hope to attain? Where do you expect to go? What do you seek to achieve? Rest. I am. It is as if it were trying to break through yes, and say, yes, but why struggle? Why this strife? Since I am. Why take ye thought? Since I am. To what are you praying? Since I am. For what are you praying? Since I am. Where do you desire to be? Since I am. It's almost as if it was saying, stop this strife, stop this strife, stop this struggle. Be at peace. Be at peace. I am. Now, we have seen in this work that there must be a carefulness in our own thought, in our own actions, in that we are not continuing to accept the appearances as if there were a world we sought to improve or heal or bring peace into. It is as if there had to be a very small you or a very small me to sit quietly by and live in that vision that there is no world out here to change. It is almost as if there were just somebody sitting in a corner, pleased, happy, content. In this realization, think. I am, God is. The universe is spiritual. In all this holy mountain, there is no strife, no struggle. It is a piercing of the veil, a seeing through the mist. The blur isn't out there. The blur is in our vision, our limited sense of what we are beholding. And over again it's saying, but I am. I am. Stop the strife, stop the struggle. But I am. All this week we have been seeing that there's only one power, that there's only one presence, that there's only one law. Since this is true, it must inevitably follow that the harmony I have been seeking is already established. The peace I have been seeking is already mine. It's like a wave that goes out and would engulf you and say, come in, be at peace. Be at peace. Don't strive. Be at peace. Be at peace. I already am. I am. Why need we words, he says. Why need we words? Come in, the fields are ripe. The fields are ripe for harvest. It went out from me and it embraced you and it said, I am in you. I am in you. Be at peace. I am in you. Stillness, quietness, peace, for I am in you. All right, and so it is. It has been revealed to us that there is a Christ, the Spirit of God, in your consciousness and mine, in individual consciousness. It is revealed that our function is to turn within at all times and at any time to that area of our consciousness where we will find a peace be still to any suggestion that may assail us. Now hear this, there is an area of your consciousness, there is an area within you to which you can turn and find it to be a peace be still to any suggestion that may come to you. Remember this, nothing from without can enter to defile. Nothing from without a man can enter him. There is no law operating outside of you that can hurt you. The life within you is the only law unto your affairs, unto your body, unto your health, unto your being. The life which is your life, the life which functions you, is itself the law. Do not fear what mortal man shall do to you. Do not fear any belief of the outside world. Do not fear any thought or anything or any theory of the outer realm. Remember this, that whatever law there is unto your experience is functioning in you, through you, from within your own being. You are going to be constantly tempted to believe that there are laws outside your own being, like laws of weather, laws of climate, laws of germs, laws of war, laws of bombs, which can, from the outside, enter to harm you. But your answer to all of these suggestions is, no, the kingdom of God is within me. All of the law is my own life within me. My own life within me is all the law there is. And so I am functioned and governed entirely by a law that is within my own being. I can look out upon this world. I can look out upon this world and I can enjoy everything that I witness, but nothing that I behold, nothing that is external to my own being shall in any wise have power over me. This refers to the stars in the sky. If you go through the waters, you will not drown, because that is something, the belief of drowning is external to your own being, and it's not a law. If you go through the flames, they will not kindle upon you. If you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, it will not come nigh you. Nothing will come nigh thy dwelling place, as you realize that the entire government, the entire functioning of your being and of your body is taking place from an area within your own consciousness. Now watch this very, very carefully, that as you are tempted day by day to witness some external law, mental law, material law, medical law, theological law, watch that you do not become a victim to it. Watch that you answer it in the realization, no, the government of my being and of my body takes place within my own being. The kingdom of God is within me. I have within me all the law. This Christ, this Spirit of God in me, is in fact itself the law. And it is in fact the only law. Beside it, there is no other law. I, within you, will never leave you nor forsake you. This is your shibboleth. The grace within me, the power of grace within me, is the law unto my experience. You might carry this with you for a while, the statement that nothing from without a man can enter to defile or make a lie. Evidently there is a suggestion in consciousness right now that there is something external to our being which can come at us to harm or to injure. So please, until you have a complete sense of freedom, realize this truth, that the only power and the only presence and the only law is that which emanates from your own being. I can remain in this spirit, just it seems as if from now on forever, and in this spirit it is just the same as if I were in the very consciousness of your being. It is to me at this moment as if there weren't a group of people here, as if there were just one beautiful consciousness there, and I was a part of it. It is as if we were one, fused into one being, one consciousness, one soul, one spirit. It is a divine union in which there's not many of us joined together. There is only one of us here, one of us in a complete state of union. Only once before in a class did this happen, where the whole class fell away, and there was a union which was oneness. I and thee, and thou and me, and we and God. It is like a flow of consciousness this way, and a belt back and forth and back and forth. Thank you. Thank you. We've had two wonderful classes this week.